Hello and welcome to the Stash-down Diaries. My name is Jen and this is my YouTube channel where I talk all about my knitting projects and plans with a focus on using up my stash. So it's been a minute. I thought I was going to record this tomorrow, but it's kind of my Friday. I have a couple of days off because I have friends visiting and I don't know what to do with myself. So I thought I'm in the mood to record, so why not record? But it is a little bit of a different situation. I have the futon down. So my friends came through from Newfoundland on Friday and their little one was staying in the yarn room. So the futon is down. So then they're coming back tomorrow. So she'll be staying a couple of nights in the yarn room again. So I'm just leaving it down and not bringing my chair in and stuff. So yeah, that's why it looks a little different today. But yeah, it's been a minute. I haven't been doing as much knitting as you would think. I do have a lot to talk about though, because my wrists have been sore. I'm blaming it on my lawnmower because I have an electric lawnmower and you have to hold in the like the safety switch and then squeeze the handle with this hand. This hand doesn't have the safety switch, so you're just squeezing and then push the lawnmower. So I'm blaming the lawnmower for my sore hand and I'm like just constantly having to mow. And then I've been really busy this month, like just trying to keep up with the yard work, and like I like to go to my parents every weekend, so I'm not home doing like all the house stuff. So when I come back I have to do the house stuff. And anyway, oh, Piper is going to join us. I don't know whether she will come on camera or just check things out or what. Yeah, so she did decide to join me on the futon. We had a little incident a couple of days ago on Monday. My door of my house did not properly close all the way. Sometimes that happens, so usually like when I'm leaving I give it a yank, but I gotten comfortable. It hadn't happened in like a couple of years. So anyway, I was at work and I can see down my street from my window of my office. And my Ring doorbell went off. So I looked down the street and there's like some activity around the house. There's a neighbor there. They had like a wagon picking up brush and stuff. And then I see my neighbors like in my door, like with the door open on my Ring camera. And then I knew instantly, oh God, my door opened and Piper got out. So I went down the stairs, out the door, just told the clerk, I gotta go, Piper's out. And yeah, so my neighbors got a hold of her and put her back in the house and everything was fine. So I'm really lucky that my neighbors were there because I don't know, like I know one of them works during the day and wouldn't normally be there. And I'm lucky that Piper is so friendly that she will just go to anybody. So anyway, so, and the cats didn't leave the house. When I got back, I came into the house to check and see where they were to make sure that they didn't exit the premises like Piper did. She took advantage of my negligence. But for a while I couldn't find them and I started to panic. And then I found them behind the couch in the basement. So mega relief right there. Yeah, I didn't think that they would leave the house. They don't have any interest whenever I open the door. They kind of come around and like just kind of check things out, but they don't try to dart out the door or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going to talk about knitting because that's what you're here for. Maybe I should learn to put timestamps in these so that you like can just skip over. I don't usually blather on like this, but it's been a minute, so I had things to talk about. My last video was the update to my yarn stash, so reorganizing my yarn stash. I really wanted to know if in the last year I cleared some things out or not. So that is what I did. If you have not seen it, yeah, I guess I'll just stick the link in the description, but it's like in my channel, it's the last video. So yeah, oh, Maisie is going to join us, I think. But I'm just gonna pretend I don't see her and we'll get into knitting. So, finished objects. Did you guys, yes, you saw this one on the last video when it was a work in progress. This is the Traveler Hat by Andrea Mowry. I was doing this to participate in her, I can't remember what she calls it. It's like a annual spring knit along where she releases a hat pattern, I think. I think it's always a hat, and then you try to knit it over the Memorial Day weekend. I was not quite on time, but I didn't really think I would be because I was knitting a fingering weight hat. If I went with worsted weight, it would have been a different story. But I am super pleased. Excuse me, Hazy's tail. I am super pleased with it. I'm glad I got to use some hedgehog that has been in my stash for a long time. So yeah, so hedgehog fibers in their twist sock, and the colorway is juniper. And like I said, this has been in my stash, I think, since 2017. Something like that. And I'm glad I picked this one. It's the colors, like the varying colors in it, there was more variation in it than I initially thought, which is why I hadn't really knit with it. It just, in my head, I've always pictured it as less colorful. But when you look a little closer, it is rather colorful. So yeah, that is that one. And I have a few more finished objects. Actually, I have one that you guys haven't seen. But first, okay, I'm gonna call this finished, even though it's not blocked, but the ends are woven in. And it is my Cranberry Fiz Shaw. And it is a pattern by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade. And there it is. You have seen this one before. All finished in its glory. I did the picot bind off. It was just a lovely, easy knit. And it's just like that kind of simple triangular shawl that I'm like currently very much into right now and into knitting. So yeah, the yarn is Woolen Wanderlust. Magical Murney is the base, and the colorway is Little Lotus. I still have the ends there. I don't snip them until after I block. So yeah, I think I'll block this evening. Oh yeah, I have, so in my last video, this is where I was right here. So since the last one, I've knit a few rows, started the border, the eyelet border, and then sorry, the picot bind off. So that was how much I had left to do the last time that I recorded a video. But I absolutely love this color. I love everything about this. And there it is. Okay, so the next one is one that you have not seen, and Maisie has decided that she's going to lay on it, so I'm just going to try to get her to cooperate. Okay, this one I'm really happy with because, well, like, it's going back to when I was a new knitter. It is yarn that has been in my stash since 2013. So I was using up really like what I call the elder stash. That is the name I have for my stash that is like the oldest. So from 2012, 2013, and pretty soon it'll be like 2014. It's the elder stash. Purchased at Luck and Booth Yarns, which is not even open anymore. And this is Barocco Ultra Alpaca Light. And it is the Age of Brass and Steam. Now, I was planning to knit an Age of Brass and Steam out of alpaca and in like a gray neutral colorway. And I was thinking about getting the opulent alpaca yarn. And I completely forgot that I had this in my stash, just waiting to be used. So, yeah, once I remembered that, I decided that this is what I was going to do. So the Age of Brass and Steam pattern is a free pattern on Ravelry. I had knit one in the past many years ago, and I love it to this day. I knit it out of Handmade in Casbah that time, and I will absolutely love this one because I don't have a gray little shawl. I have one that's like kind of mostly gray, I guess. It's the Opal colorway, I think it's called, from Madeline Tosh. So it has this flecks of like pinks and stuff in it as well. But for like a solid gray, I don't have anything like that. So I wanted one like this so that it would go with everything. This knits up fairly quickly. Did I say who the designer is? It's Orange Flower Yarn. And yeah, it's a great beginner shawl pattern because it's mostly stockinette and some eyelet rows in between. And you can knit it a little bit smaller. I think my other one is smaller. You can knit it to here and just do the edging and bind off. But I had enough yarn and I wanted to use up as much as possible, so that is what I did. Yeah, so that is that one. So happy with that. And this one also needs to be blocked. I think I am going to do some blocking this evening, actually. And so that I have those done. And then the final finished object is, of course, socks. You've seen these before when they were a whip. And I am glad to get these off the needles because I have to go in the mail with the other socks that I knit for the same recipient. And it is Knit Picks Felici in the teacup colorway, and the heels, cuffs, and toes are Knit Picks Stroll in the strawberry colorway. And the pattern is Heel Toe Do-Si Do by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. And as I mentioned numerous times, it is my favorite self-striping pattern because I just love the bit of interest in the front, you know, like the chevron-y pattern that creates points, and then you get a little bit of a rest on the back of the sock. So I'm gonna have people saying, why don't you edit it out and put the cat in another room? Well, that's not what we do here. We just embrace the fact that the pets want to be a part of the show. So anyway, right, Maisie? Do you want to show your beautiful face? Yeah. She's purring. Okay, go where you want to go. All right, so that concludes the FOs, and we need to talk about my fire season blanket. For anyone that is new, my fire season blanket is very much like a temperature blanket, except I'm going with the fire weather index for the day. And I'm just including the fire weather stations for Cape Breton and going with whichever fire weather index is the highest for that day. So here it is. It is a garter chevron pattern by Catherine Anderson. And so we have to talk about this because I am running out of the blue and the green, and they are only available at Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio in Amherst. And I have already like placed an order before to get more of the blue, and I don't want to place an order again because I'm going to be going there in July. So I think what I'm going to do is I am going to weave in the ends that I have to weave in. That'll be the work that I do on this. And I'll just wait until I get more yarn to keep working on it. I can't go any further right now, which is kind of killing me because we did go to Extreme the other day. And I really want to put an Extreme, like to have another color in here. The Extreme and the Very High, like there's only like one line of Very High in here so far too. It's right there, just like at the end of May. So yeah, the last time you saw this, it was right here. So that's what I've knit since then until I ran out of yarn. Yeah, so I could order the yarn, but I want the experience of going into the store since I'm like going to be driving right past Amherst anyway, the end of July to go see my brother and his family. So yeah, so that's what's happening with the fire season blanket. And yeah, it's knit out of Briggs & Little Heritage. And some of the colors are exclusive to DM Fitzpatrick Studio. I think I have 3 exclusive colors in there. Yeah, the blue, the green, and the like salmony pink. What's it called? I think it's called coral. So yeah, that is what is happening with that. Next, so I wanted to participate in Grumpy Sheep Happy Llama's brioche knit along, and I was going to do the vest for my mother, but then it's been so long since I did brioche, I'm like, I really should do a practice project to get myself back into brioche. So that is what I did, and I've had this yarn in my stash since 2016. I've had this pattern with this yarn queued in Ravelry since 2017. So it was like the obvious choice for picking out like a practice pattern for brioche. And once I got back into the swing of it, man, I was just really, really enjoying it. So the pattern is Worsted Brioche Bandana Cowl by Lavanya Patricella. I think I'm pronouncing her name right, maybe. And the yarn is Richard DeVries Finn. And the colorways are indigo bunting, indigo bunting is the blue, and Seaside Surf is the multicolor. And you can get a better picture of the multicolor on that side. So I'm done everything in the round, and now I have to do the short rows. The cowl ends on Sunday, 30th, so I'm going to try to finish this up. Maybe I'll work on this tonight. Yeah, I think this is what I'm going to work on tonight. It'd be nice to have another finished object because, you know, I don't have that many. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah, so that is that one. If you want to squeeze in a project that you can finish in the next 4 days, 5 days, no, 4 days. Yeah, Grumpy Sheep Happy Llama. I will link their Ravelry group below because they're also doing a summer-long socks knit along. And I'm participating in that one as well. So yeah, that's all happening in Ravelry. Okay, so that was another one where I am just like so pleased that I'm using yarn that has been in the stash for a while and a pattern that I have purchased a while ago. So anyway, next we are getting into socks because, as you know, it is summer sock camp time and just summer of knitting socks. I'm not as far along in these as I like because, like I said, my wrist has been sore and I've really gotten back into reading quite a bit, and I haven't really, well, I'm doing Big Book Summer, so I have a book stand that I could put a book on if I'm knitting a sock that is that I don't have to look at. But the books that I'm reading are too thick for it. So if I want to read one of those books, then I can't really knit. But I do have other books I can read while I knit. But anyway, regardless, it's good to give my wrist a little break. So, socks. First up, these are the Corn Maze socks. And it is a pattern by Dana Rae Makes, who is a Canadian designer, and I'm really enjoying her stuff. She is doing a Christmas in July knit along. It's Christmas in July, but it's already started and it goes, I think, till the end of August. But this yarn, I could not wait to start using. But this is the pattern, Corn Maze socks. And it looks really great with self-striping as well. I'm loving it with the variegated. Let's look at this. Look how amazing. And I can see myself also doing it with self-striping in the future. I'm actually like out of self-striping yarn. Almost. I think I might have one more thing of Felici and then I have no self-striping yarn. I don't know how that happened. But anyway, so the yarn, this is the really bright, colorful variegated, is Windswept Fibers in their best kind BFL sock base. And the color is Sail Away. And I am knitting it with Opal, just in the natural. And then Drops Fable is the orange. And then another Opal turquoise is this color. And I think, yeah, so the heel is the turquoise and the toe is going to be orange. I was really hoping I'd be further along with these, but like I said, look how pretty it looks in the cake though. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That is that one. So any of the socks that I've cast on since summer sock camp started at the end of May, I have not finished yet. I finished the heel toe do that was started before that, but I'm like getting down on myself, but like look at all the things that I finished. It's a little sad. Okay. The next one is another Dana Ray Makes pattern, if I can find it. Here it is. This is, she has textured socks 3 ways. And then this one is textured socks 3 more ways. And I think I purchased both patterns. So when you buy the pattern, you get 3 different textured sock patterns, which is pretty awesome. I love good textured sock. I love just like slight like divergences from vanilla. And that is what this is. Or like not even like just plain ribbed, like a little different from just plain rib socks. So this is Opal Monet yarn. I've had this in my stash for a while, I think since 2017. I think I got it when I went up to Toronto for the Tim McGraw Faith Hill concert. I think that was 2017 or 2016. It came up in my memories the other day. Tim singing Live Like You Were Dying. That's like a core memory. Anyway, so this one I used the ribby texture with the pearl rose. I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, I've been really enjoying knitting it, despite the fact that it is not done yet. But that is that one, and this is the ball of yarn. Hopefully when I record, which will be not this weekend but next weekend, obviously not this weekend because I won't have anything to talk about. Hopefully I'll be like finished these by then, because I got a hankering to cast on more socks, which of course I do. I'm always, when I'm reading, I'm always thinking about the next book that I want to start, and when I'm knitting, I'm always thinking about the next project that I want to start. So last but not least, these are kids socks. They're called Ribbed Socks for Kids by Susan B. Anderson. I think they're a free pattern on Ravelry. I can't remember. But they're kind of my go-to now for knitting socks for small humans. They're just a 3x1 rib. And the yarn that I'm using is Estelle Evolution sock, and the colorway is Fruit Punch. And I will show it to you. I have trouble with these kind of balls of yarn. I should have caked it, but like, you know how like it all starts falling off after. It's a little bit annoying, but what can you do? So these ones, I'm knitting 2 pairs. These ones are going to have pink heels and toes, and the other ones will have the opal turquoise heels and toes. Yeah, that is those, and the heel is Drops Fable again, just in pink. I think it's called dark pink. But anyway, so I didn't do my stash update, like yarn in, yarn out. I did have I think I had a positive balance for last month. I didn't work everything out. I didn't weigh everything yet. I've been pretty slack because I've been so busy. I think things are going to calm down and I'll be able to level off again. But I'm going to do it next weekend. I'm going to do May and June next weekend at the same time. And I did have one acquisition since the last time I recorded, and it was just another skeiny yarn for my fire season blanket. So nothing new or impressive. That is all that I purchased then because I need it more for zero fire weather index. And this one is one of Briggs & Little's like regular colors, so I was able to just run down to the co-op and grab it. But I didn't get to the zeros because I ran out of the other yarn. Oh well. Anyway, Piper is snoring away here. Maisie has made her way to her kitty condo. It is my Friday because I am off, so I'm going to chill out and probably have some cider and edit this, do some brioche, and I will absolutely be doing some reading. So, yeah. Until next time, I hope you have a wonderful start to July. Happy Canada Day if you're in Canada, and happy 4th of July if you're in the States. And I will see you again in a little over a week. Take care.